Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Mama Make You Up, a mummy of twins who loves to paint her face. Today's video is a bit different. It is not a tutorial video, but rather a first impressions, reviews, thoughts, etc. video. So if you guys are interested in some drugstore finds that I've been liking, and if you are also interested in some of the finds that I've had on Sephora or more higher end products, that will also be looked at today. So if this is of interest to you, please keep watching. So for today, I am going to review products mostly in the order that you would apply them to your face. Start off, we are going to talk about primers. And the primer that I got at the drugstore recently, after a few people recommended it to me, was the e.l.f. Hydrating Primer. So this is a primer that I heard about after talking with some people about my e.l.f. Poreless Primer, which is what I use regularly here on my channel. But I thought for the rest of my face, so more so for the outer parts of my face, it's actually not uncommon to use two different types of primer depending on what kind of skin type you have. And I do tend to get dry, I would say, in the outer part of my face. So this hydrating primer is a really nice addition to my makeup routine. I do really like it. If anything, I've actually mixed the two together and used them as a pore filling primer, and then obviously it helps hydrate the rest of your face as well. Is the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer Oil. I have the Photo Finish, a regular primer in the gel form that's actually recently came out with a primer oil that is also the Photo Finish. I did try this once and found that I probably didn't let it dry before applying my foundation, and things weren't applying very smoothly. So I think the foundation was a little bit slippery, kind of glided around my face, and I think that was just my bad. I have used this again more so for the outer part of my face because I really do like to use a pore filling primer in the center part of my face for all of my pores here, either side of my nose and my chin. Those are definitely problem areas that either have discoloration or bigger pores. So I would recommend this, especially if you have dry skin. The oil is really nice, but I would recommend waiting maybe 5 minutes to let it completely soak into your skin for the most part. Of course, it doesn't have any properties of pore filling as a primer because it is an oil. So if that's something that you're looking for, then definitely get a primer specific to a pore filler. But again, the oil is definitely an option. I wanted to review this product knowing obviously that it's a bit of a higher end product. I actually got it secondhand on a Swap Beauty page that I'm a part of. Quite a decent amount of products, so there's 30 mils or 1 fluid ounce in this primer. And if you compare that to the e.l.f. primers that they have, they're all in this type of packaging. This one is my pore one, but it says a 0.47 fluid ounce. So it's 14 mils compared to 30 mils. So basically twice the amount of product, but obviously still much more expensive per fluid ounce. Would I pay full price? No, because I really don't like to buy things that are that high end. I really don't believe that you have to go that crazy to get decent results. So now that we've covered formal primers, I'm going to move on to some skincare related items, and some of these things are actually sprays that you could use as a primer for your skin for makeup. It could also be a moisture boost during the day if you're going out with any makeup, and it can also be used for a setting spray. Their Pixie product that I have, again, their Skin Treats line, is the Glow Mist with propolis and argan oil. So this was mentioned by Kathleen Lights. I saw that on her channel, and she compared it to one of the high-end setting sprays that she really likes. I'm just really into sprays these days. I've noticed I've been collecting sprays that I can just spritz my face with during the day if I'm going out to get groceries or running errands, and I don't generally wear makeup day to day, but I like to feel hydrated and dewy when I go out. So this obviously, with especially the argan oil properties, is definitely going to give you a nice hydrating boost on your face. Say on the back here that before makeup it hydrates, protects, and nourishes. And after makeup it serves as a setting spray and adds a dewy finish and protects your makeup. And then anytime usage, it refreshes makeup, hydrates, and adds glow. So you definitely, as you can see, has a separation because of the properties in it, so you do really need to shake it up before you use it. This was 20 bucks. So this is 80 mils. And so it's not a ton of product, but you don't need a ton for your face. So that is the spritzer. It has a really nice mister on it. Sometimes when it comes to spray products, either setting sprays, the mist can be too direct and too harsh and not really like a mist at all on your face. This one is really nice. I will also mention actually that the Pixie products that I mentioned here today have paraben-free and not tested on animals on the back of that as well. The last spray product that I have to talk about, which again can technically be used under or over makeup or as an everyday just moisture boost. This is the Mario Badescu skincare line. And I've heard lots of good things about it. I've been using this product for a bit. You can tell I've had some good use about it. I've definitely had it for well over probably 2 months now, and it is technically called the facial spray with aloe, herbs, and rose water, and it's for all skin types, and it says that right on the front of the bottle. So once you've tried a rejuvenating facial spray, you won't want to be without it. Use it to set makeup, soothe your skin in dehydrating conditions, or just to give your skin a quick boost anytime, anywhere. Lightly mist over the face and neck as needed. It is cruelty-free and paraben-free. Obviously with things like aloe and rose water, that is going to be really soothing to the skin. I knew I was probably safe going for something like this a few months ago because the oil cleanser that I used to use, which I mentioned in my favorite skincare routine items, that oil cleanser had tons of rose water and different herbs and things like that in it. So I figured that my skin would be safe. Again, this is something I like to use every day if I'm on my way out. My regular use of it is just as a spritz to add hydration to my face during the day. I have not tried using either of these products as a setting spray, but I have no doubt that they could likely work great in that way. This is cheaper than the Pixie lines. From Pixie, and it is a skincare item specifically. So it is the Pixie Skin Treats Glow Tonic. So this product, Pixie in general, came, I think, to the shoppers in Canada just within the past few months, and that is where I picked this up. It has 5% glycolic acid, and it's technically called an exfoliating toner. So of course, when we think of exfoliating, we do not think of something that is liquid form like this. We think of something probably with microbeads. But because of the glycolic acid in this product, it does serve as an exfoliating tonic. So I have used this. Of course, I was hesitant because, as I've talked about in another video, I had dermatitis this past summer into the fall, and I had some adult related acne, I believe. And so my skin has been clearing up with the use of pharmaceutical grade lotions that I still use on my face. So to actually add in something extra to my skincare routine, I was a bit hesitant, but I had heard really good things about this toner, and I technically didn't use a toner regularly in my routine, and I don't exfoliate that often either. So I decided to try it out. This little guy, the 100 mils, they have another one at Shoppers that is, I think, almost twice the amount of product. This one though was $20 for 100 mils. Now I have used this a few days and it hasn't shown much usage, so I do think that I will get a decent amount of weeks use out of it. I use it in the morning and at night. Anything with glycolic acid in it will, I believe, make your skin a bit more sensitive to light. So if you're going to go out, especially with no makeup on after you use this in the morning, I would definitely either recommend skipping this or using sunscreen on your face. Could absolutely just use this at the end of the day. What I like about this that I've noticed in the few times that I've used it, first of all, I haven't noticed any reaction in my skin, and I do consider my skin actually more on the sensitive side after what I've experienced. And what I notice is even the day after, like this morning, I used it on my face before I went to the gym, and it still picked up, I think, residue from makeup that I had either from yesterday or potentially just dirt in my skin. So that is another great way to use this product. Even if you want to take a cotton pad and use it around the periphery of your face, that's often where we forget to take off last bits of makeup because we just don't necessarily want to soak our hair as we're washing our faces. So this is another great way to use this product to just help make sure that you've taken off any last bits of makeup on your face. Pixie as a brand is definitely getting up there in terms of what is a drugstore price. So technically it's a drugstore product. It's definitely not in my typical price range though. So I've heard a lot about the Glam Glow line. Again, higher end type of product. I've thought about buying their mud masks, either the one that is the Tin Man looking one for your pores and all that jazz. Basically though, I wasn't confident that I needed a mask to necessarily tighten my skin or make my skin shiny. That stuff wasn't necessarily my priority, but I was really looking for something that was intensely hydrating, and preferably something that wouldn't just go on as a mask, hydrate my skin, and then I'd wake up and my skin feels the same as it did before the mask. I was looking for something that was a bit more long lasting. So I went digging around online and I ended up deciding to splurge and go for the Glam Glow Thirsty Mud Hydrating Treatment. So this is the fancy box that it comes in. You open it up, bucks, and I know the price tag is brutal. However, as you'll see, you don't need a lot and you don't use it as a moisturizer necessarily daily. So it comes with this cool container, all fancy on the inside, and it has this to show you what kind of products are in it. Basically, it talks about green energy, so a combination of hydration ingredients including orange blossom, honey for skin energized radiance, skin conditioning from natural extracted coconut and lauric acid, with ginger root for a smoother, energized, and healthy looking complexion. That's a lot of words. So that is what it looks like. The actual product that's in this container looks like this with its, they have like a traditional star that's on top of all their items. When you open it up, it does have a seal over top, but of course I've taken mine off. You get how much product? 1.7 ounces or 50 grams in this. So it's not a ton. It smells really nice. I really do like the smell of it. It's not overly scented, so if you're sensitive to scents, it's not too bad, but obviously when you're putting it on your face, you will definitely smell it. What I found after watching some reviews, I'm not going to go into crazy detail because you could find really thorough reviews obviously everywhere on YouTube, is that putting it on for 10 to 20 minutes, which is part of the instructions for how you could use it, that your skin kind of goes back and feels exactly as it did before once you're done using the mask, which is exactly what I don't want. And most of us who need real nourishment on the skin, we want it to last. So what I decided to do is I put it on at night. But if you have any special creams, like a pharmaceutical cream that like I use, the Finacea, I chose to cleanse my skin and then I left the Finacea and the regular moisturizer out. So I did not want to put a pharmaceutical grade cream underneath and then put the Thirsty Mud treatment over it, just in case there was any interaction between these two products. I did not want to wake up with a breakout or a rash or something like that. So I chose to keep my skin just cleansed, and then I went right in with this mask. I used a decent amount of product and I decided to put it overnight. So I went in with probably 3 or 4 times the amount of actual product I would usually use as a moisturizer, and I slathered that all over my face, basically rubbed it into the amount that I felt comfortable, and I just left it on my face. Waking up the next morning, my skin felt amazing. And what I decided to do is actually just splash my face really lightly with water, and I did not cleanse like I usually do and moisturize and put on my Finacea the next morning. And again, this is something that I heard other people try out as well. And by doing that, I maintained that softness for like the whole day. I was really, really happy with that, and I think my skin appreciated the break from cleansing it all the time because I do it religiously twice a day. Worth the money? In my mind, yes, in terms of it at least lasting for another day. You could use this 2 or 3 times a week, and obviously you'd go through more of the product. I'd also be interested to see if people actually use it as a regular moisturizer, because it would be interesting to see how it maintained the skin by using it regularly. I don't know if that would not be a great idea, but I can't necessarily see why not based on the ingredients. The next product that I have to talk about is also a skincare related item. So this is the Origins Clear Improvement Active Charcoal Mask to clear pores. So this is a texture like this, and you basically put it on your skin. And what I again did was after I cleansed, and I did not put moisturizer on. So I used it at night and I layered this all over my T-zone, particularly where I have, of course, larger pores, which most of us do. And I let it sit, and I believe it says to let it sit till it's dry. So for me, that was probably 10-15 minutes. I definitely let it sit longer than needed, and my face got super tight, which is pretty typical of a mask that's designed to clear your pores. Came off with no real trouble. What I noticed made my forehead super shiny, which is a pretty typical place for me to get shiny because my forehead is 10 feet high. And if anything, I almost found like it brought the pores to the surface, or it brought the stuff to the surface. Not necessarily in a super bad way, but almost like I needed something else to perfectly kind of remove the stuff in my pores. Now, I don't feel like I necessarily have super clogged pores, but it was just something, again, that I thought I would add into my routine every week or so and just see how it works. So again, didn't have any crazy skin reactions to it. So for sensitive skin, it seemed to work fine for me. This is generally a mask though that you would not want to necessarily do with dry skin any more than maybe once a week or once every 10 days or so. Obviously every skin type is different, but you'll probably see what I mean in terms of the finish being like your face feels shiny. It doesn't feel hydrated, and that's a big difference, right? So I chose not to put any moisturizer on after I was done with the mask either, because again, I wanted to let my skin sit with the mask having just been on, and I was nervous again about adding a product on my face while it was just getting used to having the mask on it just a few minutes before. And you get 3.4 fluid ounces or 100 mils. So obviously you can see there's tons in here. The next stuff that I wanted to cover is now getting into, I guess, formal makeup stuff, which I'm really excited to work on today, or first impressions of one particular foundation. And along with the foundation today, I am going to be doing some first impressions of some other products that are makeup related as well. So let's jump into that. Hi there. So what we're going to do is apply this foundation. I've heard that it's very buildable, but I'm going to use one side with my Morphe 439 brush. So a staple brush in terms of thicker foundations potentially, or it just depends on how you like the finish on your face. And then the other side is going to be with my beauty blender, okay? For a first impressions also of the custom enhancer drops from Cover FX. I really wanted to try a different way of putting on, obviously it's a liquid product, which can be tricky putting on liquid highlighter after you've powdered your face when your foundation is on. However, I have seen some pretty cool techniques where you actually put this under your foundation. And I'm gonna show you guys how bright this stuff is. It is like mind-blowing. Again, from Sephora. I am white as snow right now, so I went with Celestial, which is the more kind of frosty, white, pinky undertone for a highlighter. Add in your actual foundation and just put a tiny bit, mix it together, and it will give you an all-over glow. Can you guys see how disgusting my green smoothie looks, by the way? I should probably drink it. It's one of those that tastes as good as it looks. Anyways, moving on. You can put it on top of your makeup if you're comfortable doing that, dabbing it on as a highlighter. This other technique is really cool, where I'm actually going to try putting it on the area of where I usually would highlight, underneath the foundation. Here is the ridiculous shine that it has, and I really hope you guys can see this. It is insane. Absolutely insane. It is a blinding highlighter. And like I said, they have different types. So I am going to put this under my makeup right here along where I would usually have highlighter. Like, look at this. I'm just gonna move my head around so you guys. It's insane. It's insane. And I love the multi-usage to it, because obviously if you like a more subtle highlight, you could use this as just to give you a glow from within look, or you could put it fully on top of your makeup and just go ham with it. I'm gonna put it on my nose, a little bit on my chin just because I had extra, and I do not want to let this $50 bottle go to waste. The applicator for all of these is a little doppelganger, what? I don't know what I'm trying to say. You get 15 fluid ounces. And this side will be brush, this side will be Beauty Blender. So that's the color that I have. The Cool Bone honestly does not have a color like bone color. As you can already, well, you guys probably can't tell, but it does not look as white as my face. So it's not a perfect color match, but we will go with it. So with a brush, I generally just kind of still dab as if I was using a Beauty Blender. So now we're going over the Celestial drops. This is definitely really nice going on the skin. It's not too bad in terms of my brush. It's applying pretty good with my brush up. So I don't know if you guys can tell on your end, but I am seeing the highlight come through on the Celestial. I am in natural light, so it's always hard to see how vibrant sometimes a product is without something like a fancy ring light on it. But it looks nice under the skin. It just gives you a soft, subtle glow, which I'm fine with. So that is the side with the brush. And that is one half of my face. And the other half, as you can tell, still has blotchy highlighter all over it. And next, with the crazy amount of product that I have left, I'm going in with my Beauty Blender on the other side. This foundation definitely has a fragrance to it, so be aware. It's not like too overpowering, but it definitely has a smell to it. So it's applying nicely with the Beauty Blender. I'm almost noticing, it almost seems like it's applying darker, almost like a darker looking color with the Beauty Blender versus the brush. I don't know. And like when it changes color once it's on your skin, that's technically called like oxidizing. But I don't know if that's really what it's doing, because I would assume it would do that on the other side as well, even with a brush. But could just be the lighting that I have. So in terms of coverage, I would definitely say it's medium coverage with a first layer. I have kind of a developing pimple right there, and the redness is definitely still detectable. I always have a problem area with my chin holding product, but it doesn't seem too bad with this. So in terms of the Celestial drops, they're absolutely beautiful. I don't know if this method necessarily gave me as much of a glow through my skin as I wanted. I probably could have loaded up more on the Celestial drops underneath the foundation. It also depends, of course, how full coverage your foundation is going to be as well. So you could even try mixing it with your foundation and seeing how you like kind of the luminous glow that it gives you all over your face. I definitely know that I will use these drops, whether it be in this method or not. I actually think, which is odd, that applying it with a brush looks better on this. So I used my M439 from Morphe. It's almost a flat top and it's a really dense brush, and I really like how it actually applied on this side of my face. So Beauty Blender and brush side. It does feel tacky to the touch a little bit, so you would want to set something like this. Okay guys, so to finish off about Estee Lauder Double Wear Stay in Place makeup, I used the 1C1 Cool Bone color. I definitely really like it. I'm usually a huge fan, of course, of drugstore products and don't believe that buying higher end necessarily means you're going to get a better finish. I really do like this one though. I am glad that I only spent 20 bucks on a used bottle. I don't know if it's worth the 40 or 50 that it probably is in store, but if you get your hands on ever get your hands on something that's a bit used and you wanted to give it a try, then I do really enjoy this. And I would say it's almost a comparable finish to my favorite foundation ever, which is also $20, the Drugstore Infallible L'Oreal Pro Glow. This is definitely still my ride or die, and I probably wouldn't pay full amount for this product. But again, just thought I would give a review and a first impression. This product, I have always wanted to try cream bronzer, and there is one particularly that I've heard so much about. It is not a drugstore product, so I'm gonna put that out there right now. I finally decided to make the jump for the cream bronzer by Chanel. Decided to invest the $70 in this product, and then this is what it, oh my gosh. So it's called the Soleil Tan de Chanel, and you get a full ounce of product. My big thing about this is that I heard everywhere that no matter how many years you had this product, you never ran out. And so this is what it looks like when you take the cover off. On the back, it just has a little bit of information. There's the cover. It has this lovely protective case over top, and then it has this gorgeous whipped texture. This is technically a color. Everywhere I looked, people of all skin tones and skin types use this product. It is a very basic bronzing kind of color. It is definitely, as I see it in person, more orangey than a cool undertone. So don't necessarily be afraid of the color in the pan. I'll show you guys texture-wise. I've never dipped into this with my finger. I wanted to wait. So this is what it looks like on the finger, so you can tell it's nothing too bright. And it's just, I mean, it smells nice, just a light scent, and it just feels beautiful on the skin. Is that you use a brush. I am going to use my foundation brush. I'm going to use my M439. This is also something that I've seen other YouTubers use with success. I'm going to dip in to here. I'm just kind of swirling, and I obviously don't want a crud ton of product. Just in case it's too much, I'm going to use my hand, dab that on, and I am going to start working that into my skin. There wasn't that much on there after all. And basically, of course, with powder, I have not powdered my whole face, so that's something to note. I've done my makeup, I've done a little bit of setting powder under my eye, but I didn't go crazy with any powder over my face because we are using a cream product, and you don't want to put a cream product over top of your powder. So if you're going to do your bronzing and everything, make sure you haven't set your entire face yet. Just going to bronze where you would normally bronze. You could do a stippling motion right now, the rubbing motion works. I'm dabbing it into the container again, and I'm going to, as you can tell, right, it puts down a good amount of product. And I'm just going to buff that into the skin. Amazing. It's really, really nice. Obviously, there's lots of different brushes that you could use to apply. I love it. And I could definitely, especially see in the summertime, using this on my skin with a really maybe light coverage foundation and just bronzing up my skin with the cream bronzer. So I am going to just run down the sides of my nose. So that looks amazing. I love it. So that's my first impressions. I love it. Now, finally, the last product that I wanted to mention in general is the L'Oreal Infallible Total Cover. You will see that this is very familiar in terms of its packaging. This is the Pro Glow, and this is the 24-hour foundation, but with a radiant finish. They came out with this called Total Cover. And this finish, I would say, is more matte. They say it's a natural finish with 24-hour wear and high coverage, and that is different from my Ride or Die, which is a radiant finish, 24-hour medium coverage. Here is moussey like, and the thing is, it's very pretty. The take home of this product, lots and lots of mixed reviews out there on the interweb, right? Really nice whipped texture. It looks really pretty. Tons of mixed reviews. The thing is, you love it when you put it on, and then over time, it's like it just slowly fails you. I tried using my regular primers and wearing it just on its own, and absolutely it did get cakey. I've never really experienced that with a foundation before, where over time it looks cakey, but it caked up a bit around my nose. Cakey finish on my forehead, I think it moved around a lot. I then tried it 2 days later, I think it was, mixing this one, which is of course classic ivory, so 301, with a slight darker color, 202 creamy natural. And because I love this one, I thought maybe I would just add a bit more coverage by using this. Together, they worked okay, but again, still kind of a cakey finish over time, and it's disappointing because I was really hoping to love that total coverage. And of course, it is up there in terms of a price. It is 20 bucks in store, in the drugstore. So I would not recommend it, unfortunately, with anything that is a moussey texture like this Infallible Total Cover. You will not have any luck with a beauty blender. You will basically try to dab it into your skin and it will blotch up for sure. And I did try it and it's not worth it. So go in with a foundation brush, but you could definitely try mixing this with a lighter coverage foundation to try to build up some coverage. Oh. Okay guys, so that is it for today. I hope that you enjoyed this review and first impressions video. We covered all kinds of different brands, things that are more higher end or from Sephora or other websites. And we also covered, of course, drugstore finds. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, comment below, and I'm really excited to see you guys in my next video. So have yourself a wonderful and colorful day. Take care.